My mother and father did not have a happy marriage. Years have passed since I last endured their company. Decades. But they passed through my thoughts almost every day for a few moments. No longer than that. A whisper of memory, as light as Zoya's breath upon my neck as she sleeps by my side at night. As gentle as her lips against my cheek when she kisses me in the first light of morning. I cannot say when they died exactly. I know nothing of their passing other than the natural certainty that they are no longer of this world. But I think of them. I think of them still. I have always imagined my father, Daniel Vladimировich, dying first. He was already in his early 30s by the time I was born, and from what I can recall of him, he was never blessed with good health. I have memories of waking as an infant in our small, timber-framed izba in Kashin, in the Grand Duchy of Muscovy, pressing my hands to my tiny ears to repel the sound of his mortality as he choked and coughed and spat his phlegm into the fire burning in our small stove. I think now that he may have had a problem with his lungs. Emphysema, perhaps. It's difficult to know. There were no doctors to administer to him, no medicines, nor did he bear his many illnesses with fortitude or grace. When he suffered, we suffered too. His forehead extended in a grotesque fashion from his head. I remember that also. A great mass of misshapen membrane, protruding with smaller distensions on either side of it. The skin stretched taut from hairline to the bridge of his nose, pulling his eyebrows north to give him an expression of permanent disquiet. My older sister, Liska, told me once that it was an accident of birth, an incompetent doctor taking hold of the cranium rather than the shoulders as he emerged into the world, pressing too hard on the soft, not yet solidified bone beneath. Or a lazy midwife, perhaps, careless with another woman's child. His mother did not live to see the creature she had produced, the deformed baby with his misshapen skull. The experience of giving my father life cost my grandmother her own. This was not unusual then, and rarely a cause for grief. It was seen as a balance of nature. Today it would be unexpected and worthy of litigation. My grandmother took another woman soon after, of course, to rear his young. When I was a boy, the other children in our village took fright when they saw my father walking along the road towards them, his eyes darting back and forth as he returned home from his farm labours, perhaps, or shaking his fist as he stepped out of a neighbour's hut after another argument over roubles owed or insults perceived. They had names for him, and it excited them to shout these in his direction. They called him Cerberus, after the three-headed hound of Hades, and mocked him by pulling off their kolpaks and pressing their wrists to their foreheads, flapping them maniacally while chanting their war cries. They feared no retribution for behaving like this in front of me, his only son. I was small then and weak. They were not afraid of me. They pulled faces behind his back and spat on the ground in imitation of his habits, and when he turned to cry out like a wounded animal, they would scatter, like grain seeds tossed across a field, disappearing into the landscape just as easily. They laughed at him. They thought him terrifying, monstrous, and abhorrent, all at once. Unlike them, I was afraid of my father. He was liberal with his fists and unrepentant of his violence. I have no reason to imagine it so, but I picture him returning home some evening shortly after I made my escape from the railway carriage in Pskov on that cold March morning, and being set upon by Bolsheviks in retaliation for what I had done. I see myself rushing across the tracks and disappearing into the forest beyond in fear of my life, while he shuffles along the road for home, coughing, hacking, and spitting, unaware that his own is in mortal danger.